G'day collectors, Rob here for episode 9 of Aussie Diecast Reviews. Hope you're all doing well and I hope you're enjoying the show. So for episode 9 we're going to stay in the Bathurst theme for the next 2 episodes or so. The Bathurst 1000 starts next week, so yeah, it's getting very close. So as I said in the previous episode, we're going to look at a Bathurst winning car for the first time in this episode. We're going to go back a couple of years, actually 10 years to be precise, so the year 2006. Plus we will be reviewing a proper V8 supercar model, and I'll talk a bit about Craig Lowndes a bit more in this episode as well. This race, or the 2006 Bathurst 1000, was a very emotional roller coaster for Craig, and pretty much for all race fans here in Australia. Plus I'll talk a bit more about Jamie Whincup as well and the Craig Lowndes partnership, so get stuck into it and I'll kick it off and I'll be reviewing this car here. Sweet. Alrighty, so here we have a 118 Classicarlectables Ford BA V8 supercar. The team is 888 Racing or Team Better Electrical Racing, and the drivers are Jamie Whincup and Craig Lowndes. This car is based off the 2006 Bathurst 1000. This car is a Bathurst winner, and it is a part of the Bathurst Winners Collection. So I think I have explained a bit about Craig Lowndes before, but I'll tell you a little bit more about the friendship he had with Peter Brock. Peter Brock saw not only raw talent from a driver's perspective, but he could see an upcoming champion and also Craig's personality. So Brock in some way became Craig's mentor and had an enormous influence in shaping Craig as both a professional racing car driver and as a fan favourite. This was around 1994 when Craig first came on the scene in touring car racing. Brock was driving for Holden Racing Team, and Brock took Craig underneath his wing and shaped him into a fantastic race car driver. Lowndes not only learned how to drive from Brock, but Brock taught Craig how to give back to the people and the fans. And ever since then, Lowndes has in some way taken over the man of the people, which Brock had for many years, and don't get me wrong, he still does. But come September the 8th, 2006, exactly 1 month to the 2006 Bathurst 1000, Peter Brock was tragically killed in a rally car accident, and it hit Craig and pretty much everyone in Australia pretty hard. Craig lost a mentor and a great friend, so come the 2006 Bathurst 1000, Craig was very determined to win that race for Brock. But let's have a bit of a look at what this car did. On September the 8th, 2006, the motorsport community lost King of the Mountain Peter Brock. Brock was tragically killed in a Targa West rally when his Daytona coupe hit a tree on the final run of the second stage. The news of Brock's death was a shock to Craig Lowndes. Lowndes had long been regarded as Brock's protege. Lowndes not only lost a teammate, but he lost a great friend and a mentor. With exactly 1 month after Brock's passing came the 2006 Bathurst 1000. The week started with the unveiling of the Peter Brock Memorial at the National Motor Racing Museum, plus the unveiling of the Peter Brock Trophy. The winners were to be crowned Kings of the Mountain. So with all the hype and emotions, the 2006 Bathurst 1000 was one that all teams and drivers wanted to win, especially 888 and Craig Lowndes. The week also started with the tragic death of Fujitsu driver Mark Porter. There was a multiple car crash involving Porter, who was seriously injured and tragically passed away after the race. And the 888 Falcon would qualify 7th position and book a place in the top 10 shootout. The shootout saw Craig Lowndes only improve to 6th place on the grid with a time of 2:08.5. Before the race on Sunday, Craig Lowndes would take part in an emotional tribute to Brock, driving his 1972 Bathurst winning car. The front row of the grid was also left blank out of the respect to Brock. Lowndes would make a good start and moved up to 3rd, and would move up to 1st on lap 16 after the FPR car suffered engine failures. By lap 28, 888 made a driver change after a safety car. The car was in the hands of young Jamie Whincup, but the race was between 888 and the Holden Special Vehicles Racing. These two teams were also battling for championship positions, but the Kelly brothers were going to toe-to-toe with Lowndes and Whincup. But with a scare of a late safety car, the two drivers would battle for first position. But in the end, the 2006 Bathurst 1000 was made for Craig Lowndes and Jamie Whincup. Whincup winning his first Bathurst 1000 and Lowndes taking his second win. And in some way, or some shape or form, Brock was in the 888 Falcon that weekend. Lowndes and Whincup would also become the inaugural kings of the mountain. And now let's look at the model. Yes, an unbelievable weekend for the 2006 Bathurst 1000. I think it will be one of them races that will go down in the history books, that's for sure. Alrighty, so on to the model. So we'll start off with the box, and again, it is a Classic Car Collectibles model. 2006 Bathurst winner. So you know, obviously can see it's a very special box. You've got the picture of Jamie Whincup and Craig Lowndes with the inaugural Peter Brock trophy. So with this box, or with this car, you actually don't get a flyer. The actual flyers on the actual box. So that just gives you, I don't know, you probably can't see it because of the mirror effect, but that on the box it just tells you a little bit about, you know, the Peter Brock trophy and all about that weekend. So yeah, and there's just like a photo of all the Triple Eight racing team. Very, very nice box from Classic Car Collectibles. So I'll get this car out of the box and then we'll have a bit of a closer look. Alrighty, so moving on to the certificate of authenticity. So the Craig Lowndes Jamie Whincup year 2006 Super Cheap Auto Bathurst 1000 winner. I have number 3,799 out of 5,250. Official Triple Eight Racing Engineering. So yeah, that is the certificate. One thing with Classic Car Collectibles cars, for Bathurst winners anyway, compared to Bianchi model cars, Classics don't get any other drivers to try and actually sign the certificates. So to actually get the certificates signed, you're going to have to go to a race meeting, or you're going to have to meet the drivers in person. Me personally, I think they should at least try and get the drivers to sign it for at least Bathurst winning cars. Yeah, that's just my opinion anyway. So another thing that you get with the Classic Car Collectible model is the replica model of the Peter Brock trophy. All Bathurst winners from say 2006 to 2013, I'm pretty sure, come with this replica Peter Brock trophy. So yeah, that is very, very cool to have. The Bathurst winners now actually don't have the trophy anymore from Classic Car Collectibles, but yeah, as you can see, you've got the inaugural King of the Mountain trophy. Yeah, so if you do end up getting this model, make sure you always get this trophy, because it is part of the part of the car in the collection. So yeah, that was the certificate and the Peter Brock trophy. Now we'll move on to the model. Alrighty, time to reveal this car for you, and there you go. So this is the Ford BA Falcon V8 supercar. The BA Ford Falcon is probably one of the best Ford Falcons that has been raced for the Ford product here in Australia. The BA replaced the dreadful AU Ford Falcon in 2003 and had a very long successful term in V8 supercar racing, say from 2003 to 2006. This is the only Bathurst winning car for the BA Falcon as well, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, this year's Bathurst 1000 in 2016 will mark the 10 years since Craig Lowndes and Jamie Whincup took out the 2006 race. So the cars have changed a lot since then, but yeah, this is a proper V8 supercar. Back then the cars were running underneath a regulation called Project Blueprint, which is pretty much just an even parody between Holden and the Ford. These regulations were introduced in 2003 to close the performance gap between the Commodore and the Falcon, thus creating closer and fairer racing. But getting back to the BA Falcon, the BA was pretty much a return of the Ford era. The Ford brand was struggling to find performance and find race wins in the early 2000s with the AU Falcon. Plus this car here was a drought breaker for Bathurst wins for Ford. I think the last time Ford had won a race was back in 1998, so it was 8 years in the making for the BA Falcon. So yeah, Ford had a very big drought for Bathurst wins until this car here came along. So as I said in the pre-video, this race for Craig was a very, very emotional roller coaster, and I guess there was a lot of pressure for him to win this race as well, just because of the friendship he had with Brock. And yeah, you could just tell by the end of the race he was just emotionally spent. And also not to forget about his teammate Jamie Whincup. Lowndes and Whincup for many years were the top teammates when it come to the enduro racing. Both drivers were very fast, plus with a professional team like Triple Eight, they were absolutely unstoppable. But, yeah, this is where Whincup began his V8 supercar career and his first year with Triple Eight. So yeah. Alrighty, so first off the mark, you've got the detailed engine cover there from Classicarlectables. That's removable. One little things here, you've got the Triple Eight Racing Engineer logo on the front of the carbon, well, it's supposed to be carbon fibre engine cover, so that's pretty good. Moving on to the engine, these V8 supercars models, they would produce anywhere between 630 to 650 horsepower. These were Stone Brothers engines. Back then there was Triple Eight Racing and Stone Brothers Racing. Stone Brothers pretty much gave all the Ford teams their engines. They were very good, powerful Ford engines that they produced. So yeah, I don't think this was a Triple Eight engine, it was a Stone Brothers engine. So you have a 5 litre naturally aspirated V8 Ford engine, limited to 7,500 RPM. And yeah, again, very well detailed from Classicarlectables there. You've got all the trumpets, all the wiring, all the canisters. As I said, this is where Classicarlectables were in their prime of model making. Not so much now, but yeah, this is where they were in their prime. Alrighty, so moving on to the side of the car. Back then they ran all the car numbers on the side of the cars, which they don't really do anymore, which I actually like the numbers on the side of the car. So a couple of little features there. You've got the 05 tribute to Peter Brock. All the cars ran that year for Bathurst. Craig Lowndes also ran a thing on his helmet on the side of his arm to pay tribute to Brock. One thing with this car is the actual relevance between NASCAR. There's very NASCAR style logos here of all their sponsors. Yeah, that just reminds me a bit of, you know, how NASCAR's got all their sponsorships on the side of the car. So yeah, that's another cool little feature. So you've got the Lowndes Whincup logos there on the side of the windows there. V8 supercars back then ran 17-inch racing wheels, Dunlop control tyres. Then, you know, Classicarlectables have replicated the paint and all the decals very well. So yeah, with Triple Eight Racing, this is where they started to make their mark in V8 supercars from the start of 2005 to now in 2016. They have grown to the top team in V8 supercars, and you know, they have overtaken multiple teams from Holden Racing Team to Stone Brothers Racing to Ford Performance Racing, in both manufacturers, both in Holden and Ford. So very professional team. Me personally, I can't stand Triple Eight, but yeah, but they're you can't bash them for being a well presented team. So yeah, this is where they this was their first Bathurst win as well in 2006. So yeah, but getting back to the model, beautiful looking car, very well detailed. Alrighty, so looking at the rear of the car, we'll move straight away onto the boot and the fuel system. So the boot will stay up. I don't know if you can see it on camera there, I'll zoom in. Very quickly, you have all the plumbing, the fuel system, and again, with the fuel system, the car is running on the left. So that's where the fuel gantries were at Bathurst, that's where they run on the left side. So the fuel filler comes in, he puts his fuel in there, and yeah. So yeah, with Bathurst cars, the fuel holes or gantries always on the left. But other than that, with the rear of the car, it's pretty stock standard. You've got the big rear wing. Other than that, yeah, pretty good. Now I won't show you underneath the car today. It's a little bit hard because these cars have, you can see, these cars have side mirrors. So yeah, it's a little bit hard to tip it on its side. Otherwise, these would break. So other than that, the underneath the car is pretty just stock standard. You've got the fuel sump, you know, you've got the gearbox and all that, so there's nothing special underneath there. So I'll move on straight away to the interior. So some of the features that you get with the interior of the car, on the side of the driver's side door you have the Triple Eight logo. replicated on the side of the driver's side door. So that's some other cool features. And then moving on to the interior, you have the replicated steering wheel, all the digital readouts, all the ignition switches, the 6-gear gearbox, all the Motec computer there on the thing there. So yeah, interior wise from Classic Car Collectibles is very good. Also you get the racing seat and the harness, the roll cage. So yeah, very well detailed. I'll show you some of the passenger side details. So looking from the passenger side door, you have the anti-roll bars there. Some of the little advertisements there, I think it's Ford Better Electrical. I don't think this car has race cam. To be honest, I don't think it does. Maybe it is in there somewhere, but yeah. But yeah, other than that, interior very well detailed. I think I've covered everything on detail wise with this car now, so I'll give my honest review about this car and we'll wrap it up. Alrighty guys, time for my honest review about this car. First up, quality. As I said, the quality from this era of Classic Car Collectibles models have very good quality and detail. The paint, the decals, the tooling are all spot on and very high standards. You get all opening doors and bonnets, boot, very well detailed engine bay. All in all, very good quality die-cast model car from Classic Car Collectibles. That brings me on to detail. As I said, the tooling is spot on with this car. Some of the features like the 888 logo on the door, the front bar bolts on the front of the car, and the 05 tribute on the driver's side doors, plus the replica Peter Brock trophy and certificate. So yes, very good detail and tooling. So yeah, thumbs up. Goods and bads, we'll start with goods. You get a very well detailed model. The box, the packaging are all very well done, with a special Bathurst winner box, and again the Peter Brock trophy. So yeah, all goods in my books. Ads, I can't really find one to put my finger on this model. One thing, if I'm being a bit picky, is the certificate, but you know, you don't get a signed certificate, unlike Bianchi where they'll try and get their drivers to actually sign their certificates. So yeah, that's one thing that's bad, but yeah, other than that, I can't see a real lot of bads with this model. That brings me on to price. I brought this from my local hobby dealer back in mid-2007, I think it was. I think it was $210 for this model. This car was released back in July 2007, so yeah, it's not that old of a model. But getting back to price, these things are going for an asking price of anywhere of between $400 to $800. But yeah, I guess it is a Bathurst winning car, so be prepared to pay that much money if you are starting a Bathurst collection. How rare is the car? Well, there's a lot of significance with this car. You know, it is a Bathurst winner. There's a lot to do with Brock and Lowndes, Whincup's first Bathurst win. You know, there is a lot of things about this model that makes it a very collectible item. So yes, if you're a Bathurst collector or a Ford collector, Lowndes, Whincup, the rareness is strong in this one. A rating out of 10, this is a 10 out of 10. Yeah, it's a very well detailed car, box, quality, it's all good. So if you're a collector and you need this car in your cabinet, and I would highly recommend it to you. Yeah, so I give it a solid 10 out of 10. Car to compare it to, yes and no. Classic Car Collectibles are the only model car company that makes this Bathurst winner, the 2006 Bathurst winner. So Classic had the license to produce this car, and they had the license for the 888 racing team in 2006. Bianchi do make a 118 BA Ford Falcon, which is a lot different, you know, tooling compared to the Classic one, but I think I might do that in review on another episode. I can't see any other model car companies remaking this car, you know, which is a good thing. So that's it for episode 9 today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. So yeah, the next episode I'll do another Bathurst winning car. I might do a Nissan theme for the next one. Or, you know, or let me know in the comment section which one you'd like to see. And again, the big one, the Bathurst 1000, is only a couple of days away now, so yeah, it should be a great race as always. So please subscribe, share, like and all that good stuff. Yeah, and I'll catch you around next time for another episode of Aussie Diecast Review, so catch you around.